So you guys can see it. I'm going to do it with a pen tool, and you might try to start with a pen tool, and if you have to, I'm going to go slow. And remember I said stick to a sucker? So we're not centering down here. And if this wasn't trimmed off with that wooden stick, remember when I showed you how to cut that off? Then you'd have all this irregular side or edge here. So you want to remember to get that so you don't have an irregular. So as I go around and it hits it, it's drawing a line from here to here. Can you guys see that? So should I move it towards or away from this line? Here's the center of that.
Away.
It's too close to this way, so I need to, that's why it hit the pen tool. So I need to move it away. Okay, makes sense? So notice I only moved it just a hair. I don't have to move it that much because I'm taking away this side, but it's also adding over there. So you could sit here for hours and just go back and forth and not realize, oh, well, I'm adding. So just a hair, depending on how far you have to go, until it's hitting all the way around or not at all. So I'm right there. Then you want to use 3, not 2, not 4, but 3 tabs of clay. So I hold the piece down as I place them on. If you don't hold your piece down and you go to push this clay on, whoops, there it went off center, and all that time you spent trying to get it on center. By the way, that centered for me really quick and easy. It doesn't ever do that, does it? Center that quick. It takes.
No, it doesn't.
Everything's quick and easy for you.
It is.
Not always. Not always. I think I got quick and easy looking because I do a lot of demonstrations, and I'm always feeling that I'm wasting people's time. I want them to have more time to work, so I go quick. So you guys can. Then I teach teenagers. What more can I say? They're impatient. I'm going to draw some guidelines because I know the size of my pot. I know I have a lot of thickness here, and I know the inside of this, I made like a skateboard bottom, so the inside is curved. It doesn't have a flat bottom. So I'm not going to take off that much here, although I am going to take off a little, because if this is higher than this, then it's going to rock and roll like an egg. So this, all this has to be lowered, and here needs to be lowered. This stays right where it is. I don't touch it. I might burnish it slightly, but I don't physically remove any of the glare. So I'm starting at the center and moving myself away from the center. And I'm using the round end, not the square end. If this is going and if I come this way and I go past and not careful and tip it, I just dug a hole right in the bottom of my pot. So if I start in the center with the round and move away so it's picking up some of these little curls, then that's what you want. And I know I have more thickness over here because I rounded my bottom. So I have that inside is the skateboard bottom.
I just watch this all day. I mean, it's kind of like hypnotic.
Then I'm going to take some of this off. Now I know that the rest of this is thick, so I can really make this nice. If this is my foot. Sometimes if you have a taller pot and it's not a bowl, the bowl kind of seats itself and you're pushing too hard. So you really want to make sure the tabs are hooked on tight, and you can hold your tool with both hands, but I like to balance and then counter push with this hand. So if I know I'm taking more off, do you see how I'm using both hands? Then I can take some of this off because I know where my bottom is. Then the last thing this is for my not so advanced students, or not so beginner students, but I'm going to create what they call a drip rail. And I want to undercut right here. So if this was the other way around, this is at a real sharp angle, and the glaze will stop right here. So you don't see a big shelf of raw clay. Like, Karen, point to that heart there. You see that the bottom of the heart's all that raw clay there, and you don't have that if it's an undercut. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just going to put that little sharp edge there, and now I have all these little ridges, and if I want this to look really nice, I have another wire loop tool that's a big one. If I were to start with this one and cut a big hunk of clay off, it's gone off the wheel. So this one, the wider the blade, the less you cut off, but you take a broad. So I'm not cutting deep, I'm cutting, just trying to get a nice edge. And that just makes your whole pot look really nice. Okay. I need to turn that around so you can see your mouth was open. It's so cute.
It's so cool.
Okay, now, where this touches your dining room table, if it scratches it, sometimes I use the back of my thumbnail if it's a little softer, or you can take, remember I said this is the wood knife, but in this end, this is the looting tool, or I call it a sculptor's thumb. So if I just do this while it's going around and drag it a little bit, then that's going to burnish, and it may still move slightly, but it's going to keep your countertop from getting big chunks or whatever. It might fall into a crack on the shelf in the kiln a little bit, but nice and smooth, and it makes a nice place so you can sign your name right here at the bottom and brush your crumbs away, and that's lower, so it shouldn't scratch your table. Then you remove these, and you have a bowl. And you do this when it's leather hard.